Hello, how are you? Today we're going to be looking at three new books from the works. Three for £7.50, The Night of the Crash, Lost to the Sea, and A Rock and a Hard Place. Three for £7.50, probably £8 to £10 each. Oh, there you go, RRP £9.99 for one of them. Why does this cover look so familiar? I feel I either have this book already or there are three books with a very similar design. Sure, the works always have a book with this cover but with a different title. They just repackaging almost the same book again and again. This one did get a bit damaged. I don't think it was damaged in the store, just not too badly, but a bit of a crease. But as I was coming out of Home Bargains and it started raining. Obviously, I did not want the books to get squashed. So I was shoving things into the Home Bargains food or whatever it was into the bottom of the bag so that the books would be on top. And a few pages did get a little wet, but they should be fine now. But yeah, may have fallen to the side and become a little squashed. Lost to the Sea was £12.99, well, the RRP, and £10.99 for The Night of the Crash. Yeah, you can easily pay £10+ for brand new books. A three for £7.50 in this day and age is pretty good. Let's see. Here we go. I was served by the very lovely Amy. I've seen her a few times. They seem to have quite a few new members of staff working at that store because I think it was a previous Sunday. It almost felt like a new store. I was walking in, I thought, who are you? I'm just curious. I'm a very curious person. I thought, I've never seen you before. And then someone else emerged, and I'm thinking to myself, who are you? What happened to the old staff? Have they been sacked? But I remember Amy spelled differently to Amy from Sonic the Hedgehog because she spells it with a Y. But Amy's a very lovely name. I personally do not meet many Amy's. It's a nice name, Amie. I like that spelling. That's no offence to Amy from Sonic the Hedgehog. The Y, that's a classic spelling, the one you learn as a child first, probably in books and stuff. That's no offence to the Y spelling, but it's nice to see diversity. IE is a good spelling too. And you're just tempted to add an S on the end to make it Amy's. The Amy's are taken over. When you see that IE, you think there should be an S on the end. But back to the books. So thank you, Amy, for your customer service. Thank you to the works. Because for £3 each, even if you're buying just two or one, but you came back and then purchased a third, it would be £9 in total. So, but as I say, one of those books was around £9-10, the cheapest one. £9.99, I think this is the cheapest. Brand new or going by the suggested retail price. And then another was, £11, one maybe almost £13. And they're relatively small books, although that's not to say that there's no quality, of course, but it's a relatively short experience. They were taking me seconds to read, but I'm sure they are still good books. But yeah, as I say, the quality can be there. And in this day and age, the reason I mentioned size to begin with is because of course, printing cost. The printer, the ink does not think to itself, you're printing the Lord of the Rings. I shall be extra exhaustive here and ramp up the price, ramp up how much ink you need, how many ink toners and stuff. It does not know one book from the next. It's just going by the length of the formatting, everything else. The formatting, the font size, all of that, the font itself, they obviously take up different amounts of ink and time and such. So they're relatively small books, but in 2026, and it has been the case for a while, that you have to pay a bit of money for books brand new. So I feel, I'm not sure when these were released, maybe they were released sometime last year, but even if they were released 2 years ago, I still think three for £7.50 is quite a good bargain. Could probably get them second hand on eBay and maybe some other online stores and even some bookshops for... Is Waterstones still open? Yeah, it is still. Waterstones did not close down, did it? I keep forgetting. Yeah, we have one in the city centre, yeah. I'm sure that one is still there. They sometimes have deals, especially on mango. They, believe it or not, Waterstones actually sell mango, so That's something to look out for. You can go to them and you can also get a stamp card. So you want stamps every time you purchase things. You need to spend £100 for £10, I believe. But again, that can add up quickly. But yeah, A Rock and a Hard Place, a DCI Jack Logan novel. I believe I have another DCI Jack Logan novel, I'm pretty sure. The Night of the Crash. So this is J.D. Kirk, A Rock and a Hard Place. Jessica Irena Smith for The Night of the Crash. I'm not recognising the names of these authors, so it's always exciting learning of new authors. Even if I do have another DCI Jack Logan, I think I've just read a chapter of one of these videos. I've not yet read it properly. Lisa Willett for Lost to the Sea. Medieval Kingdoms, Notorious Pirate Towns, Drowned Churches, Crocodile-Infested Swamps. So we will look at them in a future video. But those are the recent purchases. And, also are these from Home Bargains or from Aldi? No, these are not from Aldi, I don't think. I think these are from Home Bargains. Wednesday. No, not from Home Bargains. Where were they from? Poundland? Oh yes, they were from Poundland, I believe. Yes, they were from Poundland, and something actually cost me £1. Oh, here's the receipt, it's right here. Did they charge me only £1? Yes, they actually charged me only £1. So, not just one item actually cost me £1, but being able to buy two for £1. I do not remember seeing these weeks ago. Not as I go in Poundland that often these days, but I saw these. I'm not a big fan of these bubble tea things because of the texture, the intrusion of these bubbles in drinks, but I thought it would be something fun to make and to taste as popping bobber and tea powder plus paper straw, 70 grams. So yeah, 2 boxes for £1. They seem to be flocking them cheap. Maybe they were struggling to sell them. I've opened one box. Here's the lemon flavour Solent black tea, straw, and the popping bubble. You can see the bubble. Can you see the bubbles? Not sure if you can see them, but now you can see them. Yeah. So we will look at those momentarily. Once I've drunk my hot water, we will try some of them, I think.